Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Going to be taking the DJI Mini 2 for another flight today, and I've just put a video out actually showcasing the 1.6.4 Fly App update, and literally as I was recording that, DJI updated the app again to 1.6.5. Now as far as I can tell, at the moment this update is only available on iOS, so I haven't seen it yet for Android, but let me know if you guys have been able to download the Android version yet. Now, I've also got a bit of a new toy I want to test out. This is a head strap I bought from Amazon, and it will allow me to stick my Osmo Action, well, onto my head so that you guys can see some of the stuff I can see when watching the drone in the sky. I don't know how it's going to work out. It's an experiment for today more than anything else, but let me know if you want to see head cam more often after this video. Also guys, if you are new around here, want to see more Mini 2, Mini 3 content, then please do drop a like on the video and subscribe. So it is a blisteringly hot day here. It's also a little breezy. Two negative things in some ways, because first of all, my Osmo Action overheats very, very quickly. So if it gets too hot, then I'm afraid the head cam will be out of action as it will shut down. And of course, a breeze is not the best for our DJI Mini flights. And just before we head off into the air, I shall show you that I'm currently using 1.6.5, and I have just checked. This update is definitely not available yet on Android. So we'll see if there are any improvements. Let's go ahead and take the drone into the air. Sorry guys, the sun's in the way there. Let me just turn things around a little bit. Right, yeah, how's that head cam working? Can you guys see the drone there? If I just walk around. Is that looking good? I hope so. It's a very bright day, so I don't expect the Osmo Action to pick things up as well as I'm going to pick things up with my own eyes here. But let's gain a little bit of altitude, shall we? I'm also going to start recording. Let me just check that we are on video. Yes, 4K 30. Yes. And the reason for that is I want to start draining the battery. And I want to drain the battery because I really want to push this drone through its paces today on 1.6.5. I have heard some people have had issues with this update, that they start getting various battery warnings even when the battery hasn't got down to a critical amount. So even as high as say 50 to 55%, I was reading an article online that other YouTubers have had this issue. So we'll see how we get on with our flight today. But I'm not going to take it too far in terms of distance, and I'm not going to be flying it over people's houses simply because of that breeze. I don't want to be having any incidents if I have to go and chase the drone down. I don't want to be going into people's gardens. So I'm just going to be flying it over the woods that are close to us today. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of height. So before I go any further, I'm just going to see, by bringing the drone back to me, how the wind is on the return journey. I'm in normal mode, and we're getting to about 4.85 meters per second, which isn't great. So like I say, I do just need to be a little bit cautious about that. It does feel like the wind is going to be against us as we're coming back here, but it's not a huge issue. You know, 5 meters per second isn't exactly what the drone is maximally capable of in normal mode, but I can just see the drone is moving around a little bit when I'm not pushing the sticks there. I don't think you're going to be picking that up on the Osmo Action. Let me just bring it a little bit lower so you guys can see that again. Really want to put this head cam to the test, and please do let me know in the comments if you think it's worthwhile me bringing this into future videos, because it is a bit of effort to set up, and I am going to have a bit of a hot head by the end of it. And I'm happy to do it, don't get me wrong, I'm more than happy to use it if it's a benefit to the videos. So you guys let me know what you think about that. Can you actually see the drone? I should hope you can at that distance. Anyway, we're down to 79% battery now, and we're still looking good. The flight has been very smooth so far, not that we've done a whole lot, but let's try and gain some height here. I'll just drop the gimbal down to see us. There it goes. I know that the sun is out, so when I'm looking around in the sky, it's probably causing a lot of exposure issues. The reason I want to take it to a height here is just to see if we're going to be getting any wind warnings, since obviously the breezes and that, and the gusts tend to happen more regularly at a higher altitude. I'm just going to take it to 110 meters, and we're not getting any wind warnings just yet, which is somewhat encouraging, I have to say. Yeah, I can feel the breeze down here. We're getting to about 9.8 meters per second, which definitely means we're flying into the wind rather than against it. The reason why I'm flying this way, which means flying into the wind on the outward journey, which is generally something you wouldn't want to do, is because if I fly it out or fly against the wind on my outward journey, I'll be going over houses and stuff, which is also something I don't want to do. So let's just turn things around again. You can see those houses there. And yeah, look at that, 1.2 meters per second. You can see here, yeah, and there's the altitude ones. Let's just drop things down a bit. You can see how at a higher altitude you do get more issues when it comes to the wind and that. We don't want the drone taking off on its own, that's for sure. There we go, I can just see it coming down. Can you guys see that? Probably not. I'll stand over here. Maybe then the sun won't be against us as much. I don't want to sit in the bird poo. What a beautiful day it is. It's a shame that the winds are preventing us from flying too far, but you know, at the end of the day, we're just trying to really put this app through its paces, and we're down to 68% battery now. And so far so good. I've not had any of those battery warnings, which was one of my main concerns about this app update, since that is an issue that a few people have been talking about. Let's just do a little bit of low level flying, shall we? I'll try not to crash. I've crashed this drone 2 times. One time straight into the camera as I was recording. That was when I was quite new to drone flying. And the second time, more recently actually, straight into a tree. But yeah, in 2 years, 2 crashes, both in the same location as well. Yeah, get some nice low shots of the field here. And we'll start bringing it back. I'm just trying to wear this battery down, really. Yeah, even at this low altitude, I'm finding the drone is having to fight a little bit. Here she comes. Yeah, you do just have to have your wits about you after you've flown a drone such as the Mini 3 Pro for a while, just because of the fact that there is no obstacle avoidance there. It is definitely something that you can easily forget and take for granted after flying a drone with obstacle avoidance for so long. Right, I'm just going to stand in the shade a bit. I'm just more worried about the Osmo Action than anything else, overheating. Okay, hopefully you guys can still see all the action here. And we're off again. So we're now down to 59%. So I'm interested to see if any of those wind warnings are going to start popping up. So far, everything's been all right, I've got to say. Okay, and let's bring the drone back in sports mode now, because that'll drain the battery a little more as well. Oh, we still get those gimbal issues when we go to sports mode. That's interesting. Yeah, sports mode is absolutely fine. Drone whizzes around in sports mode. Obviously, that's just a little tip for you guys. If you somehow find yourself stuck in strong winds and you're just not able to really give the drone the power it needs to bring it back home, then stick it into sports mode and you should find that as long as the winds aren't absolutely atrocious, you should be able to bring it back with ease at that point. I will have to do a wind test at some point to see how the Mini 2 compares to the Mini 3, as that is something I have not yet done. They're both rated for the same amount of winds, so I find that kind of weird because the Mini 3 Pro is definitely a bigger drone. One would think it would handle winds a little bit better. But I'm just going to go ahead and check the Osmo Action here because I think I heard a bleep. Nope, still going strong, which is good. Maybe one day, unlikely, but you never know, I'll be one of those YouTubers that can justify spending a little bit more on equipment and what have you. But as of right now, we're just having to stick with the basics. But I think it's doing the job. Yeah, it's a little bit of work to set up and what have you. And things do tend to go wrong with overheating and the like. But, you know, hopefully the videos I'm giving you guys are at least satisfactory and that you're able to enjoy them and also find them useful from time to time. Yeah, we're down to 39% now, and I haven't seen any of those battery warnings unless they've been happening whilst I've not been paying attention. Apart from the wind, we seem to be okay on 1.6.5. I've not had any issues, although, to be honest, I'm not really sure I could say I've had any improvements either. It's still flying pretty much as it was for the last few updates, really. We're down to 35% now. There's a few birds around at this time of year, but I'm going to be honest, I've never had an issue with birds. Even when they've flown close to the drone, they've always left me alone. I've seen videos on YouTube with birds flying into drones and attacking them and stuff, but I don't know, the birds we get around here seem to just mind their own business. Let's just go into sports mode once more and see what we can push out of the drone here. Just take a little bit of altitude so we're not going to hit anything. Yeah, it's kind of weird with the Mini 2 how the gimbal just sort of adjusts itself once you pop it into sports mode in a very sudden fashion. She's quite nippy, the Mini 2 in sports mode, she really is. Yeah. Very, very fast. Very impressive. I'll tell you what, these devices that DJI make are incredible. They really are. You know, even I think just like 5 years or 10 years ago, if I'd go back in time and send myself this Mini 2, it would seem like something out of science fiction. It really would. Oh, it's amazing what they can do nowadays. It really is. Yeah, just take that back into normal mode. 22%. The flight's been going for just coming up to 15 minutes. And bear in mind that has been a mixture of flying, normal mode, sports mode, high altitude, gusts of winds, wind warnings. I think we haven't taken it to range so much to really test out the connection and what have you. But in terms of the actual flight performance, I'm relatively satisfied. Okay, and there we get our first low battery warning at 20%. So I'm not sure why other people have been having issues with low battery warnings on 1.6.5, but I certainly haven't been on this flight. So do I recommend upgrading the DJI Fly App to 1.6.5? Well, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that DJI always recommend that you update when an update is available, whether that's firmware or the Fly App. And there's certainly no glaring issues. But on the other hand, to be honest with you, I haven't noticed any improvements either. So if you want to take the risk, then go ahead. I don't think there's any issues with the app update. But as I say, other people have been reporting differently, so it's entirely your choice. But yeah, no problems for me at all. So let's bring the drone back into a landing now. That was close. Okay folks, well, what do you think of 1.6.5? Have you updated? And if so, have you had any issues? If you did have issues before this app update, have the stability improvements been of help to you? And hopefully the head cam worked out well. I guess I'll find out when I edit and upload the video. But thanks so much for stopping by. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye folks.